It's like a book of salvation slash powers. It's mostly Proverbs, so the majority is going to be Proverbs, mixed with some other books as well. So Proverbs 20, start 17 through 19. 17, bread gained by fraud may be tasty to a man, but later his mouth will be filled with gravel. 18, plans laid in council will succeed. Wage war with stratagem. A wise plan. 19, he who gives away secrets is a base fellow, low-minded, unworthy. Don't take up with a gregarious man, talkative, especially to trivial matters, unimportant. 19, 1 through, 18, or 1 through 25. So we have 1, better a poor man who lives blamelessly than one who speaks perversely and is a dullard. 2, a person without knowledge is surely not good. He who moves hurriedly blunders. 3, a man's folly subverts his ways, and his power rages against Creator. 4, wealth makes many friends, but poor loses their last. 5, a false witness will not go unpunished. They who testify lies will not escape. 6, many court the favor of a great man, and all are friends of a dispenser of gifts. 7, all brothers of poor man despises him. How much more is he shunned by his friends? 8, they who acquire wisdom is their own best friend. They preserve overstanding and gain happiness. 10, luxury isn't fitting for the dullard, much less that a servant rule a prince. 11, a being showing intelligence by their forbearance. It's their glory when they overlook an offense. 14, property and riches are bequenched by the fathers. An efficient wife comes from the Creator. 17, they who are generous to the poor make loans to the Creator. Thy will repay them in their due season. 18, discipline your children while there's still hope. Don't set your hearts on their destruction. And I believe it's 19, hot-tempered people incur punishment. Attempting to save them will only make it worse. 20, listen to advice and accept discipline in order that you'll be wise in the end. I believe it could be, 21, many designs are in the mind, but it's Creator's plan that is accomplished. 25, beat the scoffer and the simple will become clever. Reprove an intelligent person and then they gain knowledge. 24:5, it shall go well with them who decide justly. Blessing of good things will light upon them. Then we have 26, verse 26, all 24. Giving straightforward answers is like a sweet kiss. 27, put your external affairs in order. Get ready what you have in the field, then build yourselves a home. 28, don't be witness against anyone without good cause. Would you mislead your speech? 29, don't say I'll do to them as they have done to me. I'll pay them for what they deserve. 30 verse 34. 30. I guess it's 32:34 of 20. So chapter 24, 30 through 34. Seeing the field of a lazy being, I observed and took it to heart. I saw and learned more slumber, holding oneself while in bed. Poverty will come calling, and want like a being at war and needing a shield. 25:2, it's Creator's glory that conceals a matter. The king or the nigga's glory to plump up a matter. And then we have 25:3, so this is still 25. Verse 3, like the heavens and the heavens in their heights, like the earth in its depth, is the mind of the negus, unfathomable. Verse 4, the gross having been separated from the silver, a vessel emerged for the smith. Verse 5, remove the wicked from the presence of the king, the negus, and his throne will be established in justice. Verse 6, don't exalt yourself in the presence of the negus. Don't stand in the place of the nobles. Verse 7, it's better to be told, step up here, than to be degraded in the presence of the great. Don't let what your eyes have seen. 8, be vented rashly in the quarrel. Think of what will be affected in the end when your fellow puts you to shame. Verse 9, defend your rights against your brethren, but don't give away secrets of another. 10, lest they who hears it reproach you and your bad repute never end. 26, 17, a passerby who gets involved with someone else's quarrel is like one who seizes a dog by its ear. Verse 18, like a mad person scattering deadly firebrands arrows. 19 is one who cheats his brethren and says, I was just joking. 20, for lack of wood, the fire goes out. Without a querulous man, contention is stilled. 21, coals feed the fire. Querulous people feed contention. 22, words of a querulous person are bruising. They penetrate one's innermost parts. 23, base silver laid over earthenware are ardent lips with an evil mind. Exactly. 24, an enemy dissembles with their speech. Inwardly they harbor deceit. 25, though fair spoken, don't trust them, for 7 abominations are in their mind. 26, their hatred may be inner, though concealed by dissimulation, but their evil will be exposed to public view. 27, they who dig a pit will fall in it. Who rolls a stone, it will fall back on them. 27:10, don't desert your friend and parents' friends. Don't enter your brother's house in your time of misfortune. A close neighbor is better than a distant brother. Then we have verse 11, get wisdom, my son, and gladden my heart, that I may have but to answer those who taunt me. 12, the shrewd man saw trouble and took cover. The simple kept going and paid the penalty. 13, seize his garments, for he stood surety for another. Take it as a pledge, for he pledged for an unfamiliar person. 14, he who greets his fellow loudly early in the cycle shall have it reckoned on him as a curse. 15, endless raindrops on a rainy cycle or rainy day and a contentious being are alike. 16, soon as you repress them as the wind or declare one's right hand to be oil. 17, as iron sharpens iron, so one sharpens the wit of their friend. 18, tending to a fig tree will allow you to enjoy fruit. Those who care for their master shall be honored. 19, as face answers to face in water, so does one's heart to another. 20, Sheol and Abaddon aren't able to be satisfied, nor the eyes of a man. 22, if you pond on a fool with martyr, their folly won't leave them. 23, mind well the look of your flock. Pay attention to your herbs. 23, for property does not last forever, a crown for all generations. 25, grass vanishes and new grass appears. The herbage of the hills is gathered in. Job 3:25, for what I feared has overtaken me. What I've dreaded has come upon me. Amen. 26, or verse 26, I had no response, no quiet, no rest, and no trouble, and now trouble came. Ezra 7:13, I hereby issue an order that anyone in my kingdom who is of Israelites and Levites who feel compelled to go to Jerusalem may go with you. Isaiah 52:5, what do I gain here, says the Creator, for my people have been carried off for nothing. Their mockers howl, says Creator, and constantly, unceasingly, they reviled my presence. Verse 6, my people will know me surely on that day, that I, the one who has promised, am now at hand. Verse 7, how welcome on the mountain are the footsteps of the heralds, announcing happiness, heralding good fortune, announcing victory, telling Zion, your Creator is your right hand, or your righteous ruler. 8, hark your watchmen raise their voices, as one they shout for joy, for every eye shall behold the Creator's return to Zion. 9:1, those people who walked in darkness have seen a brilliant light. On those who dwelt in a land of gloom, light has dawned. Verse 2, you've magnified the nations, have given great joy. They've rejoiced before you as a reaping time, as when dividing the spoils. 3, for the yoke that they bore and the stick on their backs, the rod of their taskmasters, you've broken as on the day of Midian. Psalms 80 verse 5, O Creator, how long will your wrath be towards us in our prayers? Verse 6, you fed them tears as daily bread, made drinking great measure of tears. Verse 7, you set us at a strife with our neighbors, our enemies mock us at will. Verse 8, Creator, restore us, show your favor that we will be restored. Ephesians 5:11, and have no fellowship with the unfaithful, the works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Ecclesiasticus 37:29, be not unsatiable, endless, in dainty things, or meats, things, nor too greedy upon meat. Verse 30, for excess of meat brings sickness, and suffeting will turn into calor. 31, verse 31, by suffeting many have perished, that they that take heed prolong their lives. 31:18, when you sit among many, reach not your hand first of all present. Verse 19, a very little is sufficient for a being well nurtured, and they fetch not their wind shorts upon their bed. Proverbs 28:1, the wicked flee when no one pursues, righteous are bold as lions. Verse 2, for the transgression of a land, many are princes thereof, but by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. 28:3, a poor person that oppresses the poor is like a sweeping rain that leaves no flood, or leaves no food. Verse 4, they that forsake the law praises the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. 5, evil people overstand not judgment, but that they seek Creator overstand all things. 28:8, they that by usury and unjust gain increase of their substance, the person will gather it. Verse 9, they that turn away their ear from hearing or listening to the law, even their prayers will be an abomination. Then I have 28:10, whoever causes the righteous to go astray into an evil way shall fall into a pit. The upright shall have good things in possession. Ezra 7:6. Ezra, who came up from Babylon, was a skilled scribe in the law of Moses. King granted him all that he required. Nehemiah 10:28 through 29. Separated themselves from the people of the land, clung to the laws of Creator. I don't have it written down, but 28:33 of Nehemiah. Ezekiel, Nehemiah. My apologies. It was Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they are able to hide from thee. Ezekiel 32:2. Thus says the Creator, because your enemy have said, aha, even the ancient high places are our possessions. Verse 3. Therefore prophesy and say, Creator says, they've made you a desolation and swallowed you up on every side, that you may be a possession of the heathen. You are taking up in their lips of talkers and are on infamy of the people, or an infamy of people. Verse 4. Therefore speak to the mountains of Israel, says the Creator, to the hills, the valleys, the rivers, desolate wastes, to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and a derision to the residue of the heathen that are sound about. Verse 5. Creator has spoken against the heathen and the Idumea, which have appointed my land in their possessions, with joy of their hearts, with spiteful minds, to cast it out for prey. Verse 7. Creator has spoken against and aimed thy wrath. Surely the heathen are all around shall bear their shame. Verse 8. Israel shall shoot forward your branches and yield your fruits. Your time is at hand. Verse 9. I am for you. I will turn towards you. You shall be tilled and sown. 9:5. To others I heard thy say, go ye after him through the cities and smite. Let not your eye pity nor spare. 6. Slay every old and young, both maid, little children, and women. Harm no one with the mark. Begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Verse 7. He said to them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went and slew in the city. Verse 8. And it came to pass while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face and cried and said, ah, Creator, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel, and thy pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? Verse 9. Then said thee unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Yehudah is exceedingly great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say the Creator has forsaken the earth, and the Creator saith not. Verse 10. And as for me also, my eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. Verse 11. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me. Isaiah 32:16 through 20. Justice will dwell in the wilderness. Psalms 137:5. If I forget Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its skill. Hebrews 11:13. These all died by faith, never receiving promise, confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. 11:15. Truly, if you had been mindful of that place you come from, might have had the opportunity to return. And 11:26 through 27. Esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures of Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible, or seeing thee who is invisible. And 28. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of the blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. And 29, by faith they passed through the Red Sea as by the dry land, which the Egyptians saying to do were drowned. 30, by faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. Luke 1:15, for he shall be great in the sight of the Creator, and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink. He shall be filled with the Holy Ghost, even from his mother's womb. 5:31, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, they that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. 32, I came not to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance. 2:49, and he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not know that I must be about doing my Abba's work? And then we have 21:20 through 24. And when ye see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation therefore is near. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of them depart, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and them that give suck in those days. For there shall be a great distress in the land, and wrath upon the people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity in the sea, and the waves roaring. 26, men's heart failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Liberation.